Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video I'll be showing you how to make this awesome little suburban house. We're going with the white and grey colour scheme again because I have absolutely fallen in love with it, and one lovely feature of this particular suburban house is that it is not only extremely functional, it's very different interiorly and also exteriorly. We have a garage and a lovely little terrace here, and if we take a look at the inside, we have plenty of living space. This left half of the house is meant to kind of be a living room slash dining room area. The right hand side of the house here is meant for a nice small kitchen, and you also have access to the garage. It all flows together very nicely, and if we walk upstairs, as we pitter-patter our tiny feet up here, on the left-hand side of the house, we have an option for a bathroom, and if you like, you can have like a bedroom and an ensuite bathroom, or you can just have a bathroom separate from a small bedroom. But on the right-hand side of the house, this is my favorite, we have a nice master bedroom area, and we have a little bit more thought put into this. We have a nice area that we have separate from like where you might want to keep the bed and such, and it leads out onto this small terrace. It's a lovely designed, very well put together house, and I do want to say this now that I am not going to do an interior or exterior tutorial for this house. I will simply show you how to make the actual, like the big massive part in the middle. I won't show you how to decorate the inside or the outside by any means. That is completely up to you. If you enjoy houses like this, please do drop this video a like. I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe for more. Comment down below what else you'd like to see next, and check out the cards and the description below for all of my other work. But without any further ado, why don't I show you how to make this lovely suburban house? This is one of my favourites. So, if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some pillar quartz blocks, some block of quartz, some cyan hardened clay, some quartz slabs, some quartz stairs, some black stained glass paint, some stone brick stairs, some block of iron, and some buttons, preferably the stone ones. Plus, we need all of the other materials that you can kind of see around here. A lot of these are for decorating the outside, which I may or may not necessarily show you. I might show you a very basic way to decorate the outside with like flowers and stuff, but I'm definitely not like making the swing and what have you. But grab all of these materials, and once you have them, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making it in my brand new suburbs next to this modern house. Well, we're going to want to kick off this house with a row of 5 pillar quartz blocks coming directly up from the ground. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to go right of that 5th pillar quartz block by 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then connect that 6th block down to the ground, but also go right of this 6th block by 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then connect that 5th block all the way down to the ground. We now want to go up on top of each one of these pillar quartz blocks that are connected to the ground, and we want to go up on top of each of them by 6. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And by the way, we also want to connect them together. So if you take that 6th block, you extend it all the way across, then connect it down like that. And then if you just split it up the middle using the middle row of pillar quartz block, you'll actually do it in a much faster fashion. So much easier. You want to end up with something like that. I know it's uneven, but it's supposed to look like that. What we now want to do is on the right hand side of the frame here, we want to come all the way up to the top right hand corner. Move down by 1. Go right of this block by 6 with the pillar quartz block. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then go down by 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then, if you like, you can connect left by using block of quartz. So you want to have something which should look like this. But what we now want to do is we want to take this block that we just connected to the middle part of the house, and we want to extend it backwards with the pillar quartz block, and we want to extend it back by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Extend that 6th block down to the ground, and go up on top of the block that you connected to the ground by 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Connect it all the way back to the front of the house, and then what you want to do is you actually want to go up on top of this pillar quartz block, and you want to, it's the same one that you just connected to the front of the house, and you want to go up on top of it by 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. place a glass on top of that block, like that. Then place a pillar quartz block on top of that. Then do bottom left diagonals with your pillar quartz block until you connect down to the front of the house. You should actually connect perfectly like this. You can then take the right hand part of the glass, place a pillar quartz block to the right of it, like this, and then do 5 bottom right diagonals. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then connect that block all the way down to the ground, like this. But also connect that 5th block all the way over to the left, like that. Once you've done that, you now want to take this block right here that kind of started it all off. We connected it down to the ground, we connected it back to the start, we went up on top of it. We want to take this block and we want to go right until we connect to what is now the back of the house. And that's the frame of the side of the house. I know it's kind of complicated, it might have been a complicated way to do it, but that's what we want to do. That's what we want to have. Now, come all the way to the opposite side of the house now, and you now want to take each one of the pillar quartz blocks that you extended over to the right across the house, and you want to extend each one of the blocks back by 6. So like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you want to connect them down to the ground, and this applies to this top one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you want to extend it down to the ground, which is just the low level of the house. And then you want to actually do that one more time. So coming backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then extend that down to the ground. And you want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you want to extend that down to the ground, like that. Now, on the front of the house, actually, we'll wait for that. Now, coming to the back of the house, we now have to connect the back of the house together because we are a little bit lacking with the back of the house, aren't we? I mean, it's kind of not connected at all. So the back of the house actually wants to look very similar to the front of the house. So what we're going to do here is on the left-hand side, we're going to take this pillar quartz block that is facing us, and we want to go right of it by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. We want to take that 6th block, we want to connect it down to the ground, like this. We also want to go up on top of it by 1, extend it all the way to the right, like this. And can you see on the front of the house where there is a split between like the front of the house, like there's a split, it's uneven. Well, we want the same split on the back. So if we come all the way down to the bottom where the pillar quartz block connects, we want to leave a gap of 4 in the ground. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we want to take this 5th block and we want to split the back all the way up the middle. But we also want to split the back of the house horizontally. So where you can see the line of pillar quartz block going through the house, we want the same split coming all the way through the back. Now, I hope that none of that is complicated. I hope that you've managed to do that no problem, because this is definitely the harder part of the house. On the back and the front of the house also, we want to have the line for the roof. So, say on the back of the house here, where we have this block that we extended up by 1 and then went right from it, well, we want to take the first block on the right and we want to place a pillar quartz block. We then want to go up right diagonally from this block by 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go right by 1 and then do bottom right diagonals until you connect to the opposite part of the house. Not only do you want to do this on the back, but you also want to do the same thing on the front. So we'll place a block here, 1 block away from the edge. Then we'll do 4 upright diagonals. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then right by 1. And then bottom right diagonals until we connect all the way down to the opposite side of the house, like that. And that is the framework pretty much complete for the house, although we are missing a couple of things. First, let's take care of the garage. To complete the garage, we'll need a cyan hardened clay. Come all the way to the front of the house. You want to locate this row here of pillar quartz. It's like this row of pillar quartz that really isn't attached to anything on the front right hand side. Well, we want to take the bottom 4 blocks here of the pillar quartz block, and we want to extend them coming forwards by 3 with the cyan hardened clay. So that's 1, 2, and 3, like that. And like I said, they want to be rows of 4 in total, so you want to build up 3 rows of 4. Do a row of pillar quartz block in front of the cyan. Then going right of the bottom pillar quartz block across the side of the house, you want to do 2 stone brick stairs, followed by a block of iron, 2 stone brick stairs, then do a row of 4 pillar quartz block coming up. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then behind this, do rows of cyan hardened clay connecting to the back of the house. And this is going to be the right wall of the garage that is inbuilt into the house. That is why it's cyan hardened clay. Then, on top of the rows of stone bricks and iron, stack 2 more rows of stone brick stairs. So that'll be 1 row, and then 2 rows of stone brick stairs. Connect the top together with a row of pillar quartz block. Then, fill in the top of this roof with quartz slabs. So, just do a little row of quartz slabs to fill in the top of the roof here. Preferably, it actually fills in instead of just kind of doing what it did. There we go. Now what we want to do is we want to place in front of each one of the pillar quartz blocks on the front, the top 2 corners, a quartz stairs, connect them together with quartz slabs, and then extend coming backwards this, actually, yeah, we'll do it now. We then want to take this right hand stair, and we want to extend it backwards with the quartz slab until it just about touches the pillar quartz block. So that's the sort of effect we're looking for. On top of the pillar quartz blocks that you place stairs in front of, you want to have 2 sideways facing quartz stairs. Connect those quartz stairs together and backwards to the house using black stained glass pane. Then create a little walkway by using quartz stairs right in the center of the top of the garage and then pillar quartz blocks next to it. You can then place buttons in front of the pillar quartz blocks if you like, and we'll be decorating that further later. Actually, you know what, we can kind of do it now because nothing's really stopping us doing it now. So inside of this area, place a row of cyan hardened clay that kind of goes all the way around the inside in an N shape or an upside down U shape. We can then do a row of black stained glass block that does the exact same thing, like that, and that's just a nice little walkway. What we now want to do is we want to connect all of the bottom of the house together. We want to do this using upside down stone brick stairs, going all the way around the base of the house. If you like to think about it like this, the house is kind of on stilts. That's how I'd describe it. It doesn't begin until like one row. It doesn't begin until like the second row of the house. I'll show you what I mean in a second. But that's the sort of effect we're looking for. What we now want to do is we want to add a porch. The porch is actually quite important. It adds quite a lot to the house. So we have 2 parts of this porch, and we probably don't need the glass that we have on the left hand side there, as I realised, but whatever. So we have a porch on the front, which begins from this pillar quartz block, this corner block here that kind of like cuts off the ground floor. We want to extend this forwards by 2 of the pillar quartz block, that's 1, 2, and then place a quartz stairs in front of this. And what we then want is we want to extend this all the way to the right, and it should connect. Yeah, okay, so we're going to have to destroy this row of glass on the glass here, like that. So it will connect on the right here to the quartz stair that you have just right towards the garage. We want to take the block that kind of like connects to the garage, and we want to do upward backward diagonals with the quartz stairs. It'll look like this. It's kind of difficult to place them in the correct position without having guiding blocks, but it wants to look like this on the right, and we also want a similar effect on the left here, so it'd look like this. We want to connect them together with a row of stone brick stairs, like this. Connect them together with a row of stone brick stairs. And then if we come inside, if you just do rows of cyan hardened clay just behind the top of the porch, then you'll be able to see where the windows are going to slot in later. And that is the porch for the most part. What we now have to do is we have to connect this front left hand corner block down to the ground using our pillar quartz block. We also have to place... So this is the entrance to the house, right? It looks like this. We basically have a row of black stained glass block that kind of like goes all the way around the inside, similarly to how the entrance to the terrace goes. And we want to have, on where we have this row of pillar quartz block, we also want another row of pillar quartz block here, except it wants to only be 2 high. And we also want another one right here next to the garage, 1, 2, like this. We can connect the 2 pillar quartz blocks together with a row of stone brick stairs, and then we can connect the rest of it together using upside down quartz stairs, connected together and connected to the front of the house as well. Then we want to do rows of block of quartz behind this, as you can see me doing now. And you can also, if you like, use some black stained glass pane to kind of connect it all together like, let me see, like that. Perfect. Oh, also, as a little decorative thing, I'm starting to add buttons to stuff, so I kind of like buttons in these 2 positions here, like walking up to the house. If you don't really like this sort of feel, like, you might be able to see here, like, if you don't like the entrance looking like that, if you want it a bit more symmetrical is kind of like what I'm looking for. An alternative is to add a row of pillar quartz block in this position here, and then add a row of black stained glass block here. And there you have a much more symmetrical entrance. However, it is not symmetrical with the window that we have above. Therefore, I prefer my version right here. And it's kind of like a personal choice. Let's do the porch on the back now, shall we? So if we come all the way to the back of the house, we want a very similar porch on the back now, don't we? So we want to take, with our pillar quartz block that we keep throwing away, we want to take out our pillar quartz block, and we want to take the, like this pillar quartz block that's facing us on the back, we want to extend this backwards by 2, 1, 2. And then place a quartz stairs in front of it. And then if we come to the other side, we want to extend it 1, 2 towards us with a quartz stairs in front of it. We can then connect those together. And we also want to connect those down to the ground using pillar quartz blocks. So this side and this side. And we also want to add 2 rows of pillar quartz block in this position and in this position as well. As you can see, it corresponds with the center of the house on the back as well. And then we want to add the same 2 rows of quartz stairs, so like coming backwards diagonally like here and here, and then here and here. And then we just want to connect those rows together with stone brick stairs. So we're just connecting these together with stone brick stairs, as you can see, left and right. And then if we come behind, we're just going to add 2 rows of cyan hardened clay, and this is going to build up the wall behind the porch. It might surprise you where the second floor of this house actually is, but I'll show you that later. And for the bottom of the porch, kind of similar to what we did down below, we want to have a row of 2 stone brick stairs here. And let me just make sure that I'm getting this right. So we have the stone brick stairs here. We want to have a pillar quartz block left and right, and I'm going to place some buttons in front of the pillar quartz block as well. And then I'm going to kind of like connect the base of this together with upside down quartz stairs. So I'm going to go all the way around. I'm going to connect the base together with upside down quartz stairs like this. Then I'm going to fill the bottom of it in with quartz stairs, as you can see me doing here. Let me just fill the bottom of this in. And I missed a block on this right hand side, didn't I? There we go. And then we can just add the glass around it. And later on we can add some flowers and etc, but not until later. But there we go. Now we are getting dangerously close to being able to fill in the walls, and you're going to see a massive difference in this house once the walls have been filled in. So let me show you how to do them, Mike. I guess quite a lot of these were a bit different, so I'll show you them individually, won't I? So let's start with the front of the house here. So the front of the house, the windows look like this. We want to start by doing a row of cyan hardened clay on the left and the right. We want to connect them together with a row of upside down quartz stairs like this. We then want to place an upside down quartz stairs left and right, and then a quartz slab extending out in front of the house. This is because this is a windowsill and we'll add a flower to it later. Fill in the rest of the area with black stained glass pane, and there you go. Looks quite nice. And then if we come up to the second floor, we want to do a similar deal. So this window on the left is actually identical. So do the same thing. Cyan stained clay on the left and right, row of quartz stairs at the bottom, pop one out left and right, and then connect them together with quartz slab, and then fill in the center of the window with black stained glass pane. This smaller window is different. We still want to have the cyan hardened clay left and right, however we want to connect it with the quartz stairs still, and then we want to just simply fill this in with black stained glass pane, and we don't need to extend it out, although if you like you can just use your quartz slabs to pop it out, although it kind of looks a little bit goofy. It doesn't make a difference whatsoever actually looking at it. Moving all the way up to the top, the way that we fill this area in is we use cyan hardened clay at the bottom and the top of the area just under the roof, and then we fill in the area with glass pane. The reason that we don't do anything fancier is because it is not symmetrical up here, so we try to avoid any sort of pattern that uses any sort of nice little symmetricality, which I don't even think is a word, but I'm using it anyway. So we just use something nice and generic like that, because otherwise it looks a little weird, it looks offset, trust me on this one. Let's move to the left-hand side of the house now, and let's do, well, pretty much the same thing. So on the left-hand side of the house, let me just get up these plans. Well, the windows are a bit different. On the left-hand side of the house, we're just going to be doing this. Like, in the bottom windows, we want the row of cyan hardened clay, left and right. Then we want to connect the bottom of them together with quartz stairs, then rows of glass pane in between, and then if you like, you can also extend these windows out in front of the house like so. Let's do the same to the other window. So basically we're copying all of the other windows that we've done so far, except that little diddy window. We're basically just doing the same thing. However, when we move up to here, the second floor, we're going to add a row of cyan hardened clay to the bottom. We're then going to add rows of cyan hardened clay left and right in the windows, like this. And then we're going to add a row of upside down quartz stairs to the bottom, a row of regular to the top, and then we're going to do glass all the way in between. So we're going to do glass all the way in between these like so. And if you want to make the window look a bit more special, like, you can add the quartz stairs and the quartz slab in between, and you could even extend the ridge of the window out by one, although I'm not sure how much I even like that. You could just do it to the top, or perhaps you could have something that kind of looked like this, so to give it a bit more shape, what are we doing? Like maybe one here, and then one here. If you wanted the windows to look a little bit more fancy, but if you couldn't care less, then just leave them as they are. Oh, hang on. Well, how about that? That looks okay. I quite like that, although it'll get in the way. It'll get in the way of the roof. That's the only problem. But yeah, something like that. I mean, that looks perfectly nice, perfectly natural. And you could even kind of do the same sort of thing down here. You could actually do it to these windows as well. That's not a bad thought. We could take these windows down here. We could even make them a bit different. We could make them look like that. Just make them a bit more 3D. Just make them a bit more interesting. I think that definitely looks nice. I like the fact that they're a bit different, to be honest with you. And then you're allowed to put flowers on them and whatever else you might want to do. Let's come to the opposite side of the house, and let's do a very similar thing to the opposite side, because we have very similar windows here. So on the right hand side of the house, we're going to, once again, we're adding the rows of cyan hardened clay left and right. We're going to take this bottom part, we're going to add quartz stairs to it, we're going to extend it out by one, put a quartz slab in the middle, going to add some black stained glass pane, and then I think, yeah, why not kind of like add the quartz slab and then add some quartz stairs too. Yeah, why not? That looks good. I like that. And on the second floor, like, it's the same sort of deal. Like, we want the exact same windows. So if you just look over and kind of like remind yourself of what we did, we have the U shape of cyan hardened clay all the way around the inside. We then have the upside down quartz stairs at the bottom. Or do we not do the same thing with these windows? Oh, these windows are slightly different because, of course, they're a different shape. What we can do on this side is we can kind of like... Actually, let me make sure that I do it right before I like ad-lib anything crazy onto this side of the house, because this is kind of important. Okay. So on this side of the house, we're going to have the rows of cyan hardened clay left and right in each window, and then we'll have the upside down quartz stairs at the bottom, regular facing at the top. That's what we're going to be going for here, and then of course we'll have the glass in between, but I don't see any reason that we can't add anything fancy to at least this window. At least the front window, rather. I don't think we can do it to that window. Maybe we can just add kind of like a lip to it. Yeah, that looks fine. You know what? We can even still add that. It looks a bit stupid, doesn't it? What we could do is we could just do a row of. There we go. That looks a little bit better. And then a similar thing up top here. I don't see why we can't just make these windows look a bit nicer. Why shouldn't all of the house look as nice as the front of the house and the back of the house? So there we are. That looks quite good. It does take a little while. Is there any windows I can improve on the front? Can I improve? Not really. I don't really have the opportunity to improve any on the front of the house, but that's okay. Yeah. So they're the windows on the side. On this side, we basically want to add black stained glass pane under each one of the triangular quartz pillar quartz block. That's the word I'm looking for. And then we want to do cyan hardened clay underneath every single other block. So it wants to look like this. It's a nice enough pattern, nothing too fancy. If we come to the back of the house now, we have a few windows to do back here. Let me make sure that all of these are correct as well, because I really don't want to mess about with these windows. Some of them are quite important indeed. So this window, for instance, this window has went a little bit awry. So what we're going to do, this little back window, we're going to do cyan hardened clay, left and right here. And then we're just going to fill this in with black stained glass pane. This actually isn't like my original window. Something has went a little bit wrong here, but that's perfectly fine. I don't mind the window looking like that. This upper window, this is just kind of like similar to the window on the back as well. We're just going to place cyan hardened clay left and right like this, and then we're going to have quartz stairs at the bottom and the top, and then we're going to have black stained glass pane in between. And then this little window here, we're also going to have the cyan hardened clay left and right, and then we're going to have upside down quartz stairs with glass block in here, or rather black stained glass pane. I'm getting names of materials wrong left, right and center. And then if we come down here, ladies and gentlemen, we have these two windows. We want to of course place the cyan hardened clay left and right of these windows, and then we want to have the upside down quartz stairs like this. And then we're going to just simply place black stained glass pane in these. And if you like, you can kind of have like the same sort of like lip on the windows as we have everywhere else. And we want the same thing on the right hand side too, like that. And then the upside down quartz stairs, and then the, whoa, what am I doing there? And then the black stained glass pane everywhere else. Then the upside down quartz stairs with the quartz slab in between, and then the back door here is exactly the same as the front door. It's just black stained glass block, which forms a nice little door. And that is the back of the house for the most part. We also have to fill in underneath the roof here, which is just cyan hardened clay at the top and the bottom with some black stained glass pane all the way in between, like that. And that is pretty much each one of the 4 walls of the house done. We do just have one little thing to do now. So we have to do the roof. You might have realized the roof kind of comes in 2 parts, so it's kind of difficult to explain, but the roof is essentially made out of quartz and stone brick stairs. The very edge of the roof, and we're starting on the left hand side here, is going to be quartz stairs. So the very edge of the roof is quartz stairs like this. The center of the roof is stone brick stairs, which is this part that kind of like slopes up. Where the roof reaches an apex, we want to have 2 back-to-back rows of quartz stairs like this. So wherever the roof reaches the tippity top, we have the quartz stairs left and right. As we travel down the right hand side of the roof and connect to the right hand side of the house, things get a little bit tricky because this edge of the roof on the right hand side of the house is also quartz stairs. So we've got to be careful and make sure that it connects properly. And remember that the edge of the roof, it overhangs by one and is also quartz stairs. So the way that it connects is like this. And we also want to have the quartz stairs on the left hand side also. as you can see me out in here, and we want to have the upside down quartz stairs underneath the part that overhangs, because that looks quite lovely if I do say so myself, and I do say so myself. So we're just going to add all of that. That looks great. And then on the right hand side here, like, we still want these stone brick stairs running up the side of the roof, but we want the quartz stairs hanging off of it. This is where the challenge comes in, like connecting it all together. I think that the front is actually harder than the back because the back's flat. And then this center part of the roof will simply be stone brick stairs. So this all wants to... My eyes just went funny then, that's weird. It was like an optical illusion, and then the front part of the roof wants to connect like this, like it just wraps around, and then it comes like one block towards the front, or in some cases more than one block actually. And I don't know, it just wants to connect like that. As we come to the back of the house, it's a similar sort of deal, like we want the row of quartz stairs starting in line with the quartz, pillar quartz block. We want the stone brick stairs for the center part of the roof like this, and then it wants to overhang, and this wants to be sideways, and it wants to overhang in a very similar fashion. So both parts of the roof, one is lower than the other, so that's where it gets a little bit confusing, but both parts of the roof, now you can see how they all connect together. It's really quite simple, it's really very logical. But I always find it difficult to explain roofs. This is nothing new. Also got to place the upside down quartz stairs all the way here too, and it'll make everything look very, very lovely. So there we go. Oh, that looks great. It looks a bit weird because it almost looks as though the roof is a lot longer on one side, but I don't mind the effect, and I hope you guys don't either. We also, of course, want the the quartz stairs here coming up. And there's not too much more to it. There's just a load more filling in. The center of the roofs will connect together using a quartz slab. Where are we? So, like, we'll have a quartz slab up of the top of the right-hand part of the roof, and this quartz slab will connect from the right all the way to the center in a manner such as that. And then it really is just a case of like placing all of the upside down quartz stairs and placing all of the stone stairs, and I suppose there's nothing more to it. So I'm going to speed this next part up. It's really, really simple. It just takes a little bit of time, and I'll be back once I've filled in the roof. And there we are, that is the entire roof filled in a very logical, great looking fashion, if I do say so myself. And yeah, that's every single part done. We even have some nice looking windows about the place. So, what do we do next once the roof's taken care of? Well, we do have a little bit to do if you guys want to hang around, and I can show you what you can do to improve the outside just a little bit. So, it's just little things, like the garage here. To make a handle for the garage, attach a tripwire hook to the block of iron. A lot of places around the house can also benefit from like some plants and stuff. So like if you were to take out, everything we have, like we have some poppies, we have some cauldrons, jungle leaves, wooden trapdoors, grass plots, flower pots, signs, and some sea lanterns, well, we can move on to this next bit. So like the terrace here, where we have these two pillar quartz blocks, we can add some flower pots to these on top of the pillar quartz with some poppies in them. Poppies are simply my favorite flower. I'm going to fill in this area here with sea lanterns, but I mean, quartz block is kind of preferable. I'm also going to do the same thing here, just going to throw in a sea lantern just to light things up a little bit. But once again, like a quartz block would be better. Where we have the entrance, I'm going to add a row of sea lanterns just inside here. Actually, you know what? A better position for the sea lanterns is right here. Like that. And I'm going to add a cauldron with a jungle leaf with a sign in front of it. And right and left of it, just here, left of the entrance. I'm also going to throw a poppy on this windowsill. Let's move the poppies closer together, shall we? So I'm also going to throw a poppy on this windowsill, because why not? Who's here to stop me? I'm also going to throw one up here as well, like just a poppy here. I think that'll look nice. Also on the left hand side of the house, because we have a couple of windowsills, why not just add a couple of, you're not going to place on top of those? No? Oh, that's because I'm trying to place the poppy. Silly me. Maybe like one here, something like that. Don't want to place too many of them. If we come to the back of the house, I'm also going to place poppies here, just as we come out the back door, and we can even place some cauldrons with some jungle leaves. And you can either use signs to like decorate the outside of these, or you could equally so use wooden trapdoors, kind of up to you. Going to use even more flower pots on the back. Going to place them kind of like that, why not? Make the back look nice. Also going to add sea lanterns to the back too, like this. Would be ideal, by the way. Like, I know I kind of use sea lanterns on the front, but it doesn't look that good. Block of iron. I don't want block of iron. I actually am after pillar quartz, block of quartz. Like, block of quartz is preferable to the side of the porch, but you can just add that, makes it look nice. You can even add some poppies like here, let's say, maybe like here. Might even want to add one on this side. They don't have to be poppies, by the way. You can add any sort of flower, makes it look just a little bit brighter, a little bit nicer. Nothing wrong with that. And that's like little changes that you can add to the house immediately to make it look nice. Now, if you want to make some structural changes, something that I always recommend doing is like just putting a border around the house. So like figure out how big around the house you kind of like want to dig. And I'm going to use plants to figure this out. So I'm going to add a little plant area here in front of the house. And I'm going to place poppies here. And I'm going to place wooden trapdoors as well around them. So this looks like a nice little planter, a nice little flower bed. It looks really nice. Now I can use this to figure out like what area I want to dig around the house. So I want to leave an area of 2 around the house. So that's 1 and 2. And then I can dig all the way backwards, and I want to figure out how much room I want to leave at the back of the house. So coming out of the back of the house, I don't want it to be very big. Coming out the back, what's it like on that side? Non-existent. So I don't want to leave too much room on the back, so I now want to dig all the way around the back, like this. And I'm going to dig out the side of the house, and I will leave a gap of 2 in the ground, so that'll be 1 and 2, and then I'll extend this third block all the way forward, and this is going to connect more or less, actually it will connect directly to the road that we've dug around the front of the house. And this is kind of going to leave some very, very clear boundaries around the house, and I'm also going to connect the right hand side of the walkway to it too. I'm going to place pillar quartz block coming from each one of those, so I'm going to extend pillar quartz block coming forwards. I'm going to want to place on any relevant corner like a block of redstone underneath a redstone lamp. I'm also going to throw quartz slabs on top of those. And I'm also going to do that to the corners as well, like this. And I'll eventually connect all of these together with dark oak fence. So you can kind of see how I came to the conclusion that you might have saw at the start of the video. Like, that's how I kind of like figured out what the boundaries of the house like kind of look like. That's how you would connect everything together. But that's all the important stuff. Everything else is a bit nitty gritty. Everything else is about placing certain blocks in certain places. But that's how I figured out where the garden is. That's how I figured out how big I wanted it to be. And I thought that I'd give you guys like the logic and the reasoning behind like how big I wanted everything to be. So that is the actual house, guys. That's what the house looks like. That's how to build the house. I'm not doing the interior for the house. I'm going to do the exterior off recording. There won't be a tutorial for either one of them, but what I can do is I can show you the original version of this house, which looks a bit different to this actually. So this is the original version of the house. As you can see, it does look a little bit different, like the windows aren't as fancy, and on the back here we made the porch a little bit smaller. So we do have big windows on the back, but I like my version a little bit better, the version that we just made for tutorial, but you can shrink it if you like. It all does look a bit different though. But you now might be able to see like what the walls of the house look like, what all of the fence and stuff looks like. Like that's what we kind of like, that's what I was trying to explain to you, like how I figured out the boundaries around the house, like how I figured out where the fence goes, and that's just how it looks. Like it's just block of iron with fence on top, and we just have some lamps on each one of the corners. Plus we have a lamp just right at the garage with some buttons on the garage too. But as the inside the house goes, the way that I've laid it out, and it's very easy to figure out where walls go and where the floor goes where the entrance is, so that makes a lot of sense. This middle part is a hallway that connects the front of the house to the back of the house. Where we have the cyan clay wall for the garage, we also want this wall present, cutting the house into a third. This back room is walled off because we want enough room for the garage, and you can see where the garage split is, where the pillar quartz block is on the right hand side of the house. This forms the garage, so we have a small kitchen here, at least we would have. This left hand side of the house, plenty of room for a nice living room, dining room. The staircase, as you can see, is just kind of like in the middle-ish of the house, on the right hand side, taking up as little room as possible. But the thing that might surprise you is where the positioning of the second floor is. The second floor begins just underneath the window line. So, you know what, we'll use the front of the house as a better example. So can you see, the second floor of the house starts here, like it starts just one row below the windows on the front of the house, and on the back of the house they begin where the window line actually is. And that does mean that a couple of these windows you can't really look out of on the right hand side of the house, but you do get the really cool effect with the bedroom. So whether you want to get rid of the windows or what, that's up to you, but you get a cool effect with the bedroom. Remember to add a step down so you can walk out onto the terrace. Very cool little design feature in my opinion. If we come to the left hand side of the house, once again you can kind of get a better understanding of where these windows are placed, just underneath or where the floor is placed just underneath the window line, as you can see. And that is pretty much all I have to show you for the inside of the house. Like you can see where the floor starts. It gives you a lot of options with lighting and such. Like you can see you can build it into the ceiling. I'd actually wish I used redstone lamps instead of sea lanterns, but you know, what can you do? We also have different coloured carpets in each room to make it look a bit nicer. Out the back here we simply have a nice little seat, kind of like a little, well, it started off as kind of like a bench swing, but I kind of just turned it into a mini gazebo instead. And we have a nice little pond with a tree out back. A little something to look at. Customize the garden as you will. I'm not doing a tutorial for any of this, of course, like I keep saying, but I mean, that just a little idea of what you can put behind. You don't have to do a huge garden all the time. But that's the house, guys. Shall we flip back to the tutorial version? So, hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you have. I think that this is a spectacular looking house. It's very small, nice and compact, really, for a pretty decent sized suburban house, and it has a lot going for it. It's very different in design to quite a few others. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please give this video a like. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe for more, and comment down below. What else would you like to see next? I'd be very interested to see what you guys want to see. And if you want to see any more builds by me, check out the card system and the description below, because that is an excellent way to explore my channel. That's how you can find more houses, like this one. This is a modern house. Or if you want to make another suburban house in a similar-ish style, then perhaps this is more your speed. Kinda similar to that house, I personally like that house better. This house also includes an interior and exterior tutorial. This is Suburban House number 10 that we're currently looking at. However, if houses and stuff aren't your deal, you could easily head into the playlist /card system /description below, and you could find my real world building playlist, which will show you how to make the city that I am currently working on. If you don't like that, then maybe you'd like to build a public park and all of the builds that come along with it, and you might want to check out my park playlist. And it will show you how to make everything that you can see down here. Everything in this world has a tutorial. Everything on the screen in front of you. Even including, if we come over here, we have a theme park that is starting to be built. Subscribe. Check out the cards, check out the description below, explore the channel. You might find some other things that you want to build. We don't just build houses and stuff. This is what we get up to. We get up to a little bit of everything. But this week, we're focusing more on houses. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, Give it a like if you did, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.